Hey, this is Fox here. I'm making this video because somebody asked me what my thoughts on Akiha were, and that's all I've been getting asked every day since I've been playing, so I'd rather make this video and have a command for it than just keep repeating the same stuff, which I'm going to do anyway. So, first things first, if you watched the video that I made about patch notes, about the patch notes I did for the game last week, Thursday, you'll find I went out over the whole cast in another video I did, I'll image above. However, I will put individual patch notes for her, this character, right after. So, the first change, backdash is increased invul. Somewhere around here, like right behind her. So if you manage to jump in and try to hit her, you would hit her before. Now she retains a little bit more invul. Also, she's cute. Anyway, this buff is really nice because it helps her evade a lot of other attacks that would probably try to bonk her like as she was landing, but now it's a little bit harder to hit her. So that's number one. Number two, this specifically charge 5B is -2 on block. What does this mean? This means that the previous version was -5 on block, which meant that you could 2A her if you had a 5-frame 5A or 2A, which means you could just beat her out right away. Before, doing this with no follow-up means you could not block in time. You got punished. So that's actually really strong for her, because now if you do this, if you can space yourself far away from their 2A retaliation, you should be okay. See? So a lot of characters who do 2A from that far might get punished now. So you could do something like... the next buff that I think goes in order is essentially all of her pinwheels. So, A pinwheel, B pinwheel, and Moonskill pinwheel. And all the versions in the air. A, B, and Moonskill can all be cancelled to each other now. So what does that mean? It means you can do this. But this essentially means either in the ground or the air, you can change the A into B and the B into A at any given instance. Before, you had to wait for this to finish before you can input your next wheel. So even if you did this, waited as long as you possibly could, if you mistimed it, you would not get your next wheel. You would just get like a jumping attack or a normal on the ground. So now what this means is you can effectively use your air movement and gauge where they are on the screen, so that way you can try to pin down where they are in the air. Or if they're shielding this ring, you can get rid of it and throw this ring. The biggest reason that's good for her is that this allows her to act whenever she wants and force people to, figure out how to deal with this a lot quicker than they did before. Before, people would see ring, they'd be like, oh, you can't do another ring, so I'm just going to jump in and shield it. Now, if you throw out this ring, and you throw out this ring, the ring before is gone, and if they try to jump in and shield, like I said earlier, you just smash on them. Because air shield has 12 frames of landing recovery, which is punishable. So remember, that goes for all versions in the air and on the ground. So if you go from ground, you can go to the air with the next version. Air, ground. Sorry. Air, ground. That's pretty much that on that change. The next change. Jump B hits way higher now. So before, that wouldn't hit from here before. That would not hit from there, if I recall correctly. This hitbox got changed so it hits further below her now. So I think before it used to hit somewhere around here. I don't have if I had a frame display, I might just post the image here from before and after, if I'm smart enough. But you'll see something where it's like, this will hit a lot lower now. So now when you air dash on somebody, like going this way, Or if you just fall straight on top of someone, this hits a lot sooner, which means they have to stand up a lot quicker than before. Or shield a lot sooner than before, or anti-air you a lot quicker. What this means? Essentially, it just means that... You see how early she had to block that? And how she turned around? This messes up people a lot more, because, as you see, you have to now make sure you're blocking the correct way on the ground when you change your block. And then you still have to see if I'm going to mash on you. The next change that Akiha got. Charge Jump C. Got a bigger hitbox. What does that mean? You now have to block Jump C from a little further away than you did previously, which means it got significantly bigger. Hopefully, if I'm smart enough, I've gotten screenshots from the previous patch and this patch hitboxes, meaning how far this used to hit before and how far this hits now. I think it hits far enough now to matter. Also, one of the other changes that Akiha got this patch is that 214C for EX Cartwheel hits more consistently now. What does that mean? So, let's say you see someone jumping in the air and you're going to snipe with your DP, as you normally would because it's a good anti-air spaced at a certain range. Before, your confirm would be into 214C. However, 214C used to be finicky where you would get 1 or 2 hits at the beginning, but the tail end doesn't work correctly, so you wouldn't be able to get proper confirms at certain ranges. However, now, it is more consistent in hitting 4 or 5 times. Before, you could consistently get 1 or 2 times, but that does not give you a proper confirm. And finally, the last change she got. That her EX command grab got increased range. So if you remember from the patch before, this made it so that you can no longer jump once the flash occurs. So if you were trying to hold up when this occurred, like if this flashed and you weren't holding up, you were getting grabbed. Now they made it so that this grabs from a lot farther. So you can often try to catch people like at ranges they would normally think they're safe at. Because in order to get a normal throw, you see like a dash animation startup. But because this has more range, you can kind of just like get into a space where they're not expecting you to be, so you can like and do that. Or okay. So all in all, I do think the changes for her are really good because the tools of rings disappearing when she wants to do a different strength, not including the EX, remember. She could always do this. And because she could always do this, you still can't throw another ring out there. It's like saying in the game you want to replace another ring. You can't do that. However, it just means that because you still retain a jump after doing the one in the air, doing this is a lot scarier because you can change the trajectory a lot sooner, making people who want to super jump and try to hit you, they get counter hit by a ring, you get a combo. The other change with the command grab, as I stated before, it makes a lot of situations scarier because you see how far she grabs you from. Because there are a lot of instances where people see you air dash and try to anti-air you and say, ah, I'll block it out, and then they just get grabbed from max range. The other change with jump B and charge jump C matter a lot because since they hit from higher up or have a wider hitbox, it means people have to second guess how they're going to press buttons on you if they're trying to anti-air you or block properly. That's normal. And then the backdash buff makes it so that like she's a little bit more invulnerable to certain attacks coming from the air or straight up trying to get mashed on the ground. Yeah, I think this version of Akiha is more fun. It's definitely more fun. She will still have to struggle versus some characters like Vlav, Dead Apostle Noel, Shiki to some extent, but I do believe that characters like, well, an Arcuid, but those characters now have to try to manage themselves when they want to get in. So like Arcuid and Shiki want to try to get in, changes this up, makes it a lot easier to fight them every now and then. This is just it's not a matchup thing for, you know, across the cast. This is strictly just like, how does this character feel to play and how her changes affect her. Her changes make her a lot more fun to play. She can control space way easier because of these rings, because of Jump B, because it got bigger from air to ground, and Charge Jump C because it also got bigger. Those being the most significant changes, and then the next significant change after those being this having bigger range. The damage is still scaled because it's a command, it's a throw starter, but it's still nice to know that people cannot jump that on reaction anymore. And it also has more range because before you had to be here, now you can be not there. You could be here. Because before, you actually had to be on top of them to get it. Not anymore. But yeah, she's really fun. Fighting the rest of the cast feels a little bit better now. Not a lot better, a little bit. You still have to worry about interactions with them shielding your rings, because that's one of the biggest interactions in this game, is shield and projectiles, and how you deal with them. But I still think she has good ways to fight people in a lot of situations when they want to use shield, and even more so because throwing this out means that if they mistime this shield, you actually get a free punish. Okay, so hopefully this wasn't too long-winded, and I actually answered the question at the start, which is how I feel about her, and I feel good. She feels really fun. Yeah, that's yeah, keep playing Melty Blood if you like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to play it, but if you like it, keep playing it. Don't walk up to someone on the street and say, you know what, I hate Melty Blood type Lumina because it too many defensive and offensive actions here and there. Don't be that person. Alright, anyway, thank you for watching, and take care. I'll see you all later. Take it easy. Peace. Bye.